In this step card, we are going to determine and record for ourselves how to find an equation from 2 points. So go ahead and copy this down onto your index card or in your notebook, and you are probably going to want a few different colored pens or markers to get going with this. So on the back side of your card, you're going to divide it into 2 steps. The first being how to find the slope from 2 points, and the second step being how to find the y-intercept. Okay, so you are going to make a little note for yourself that the king of this process is using slope-intercept form, which correlates with our first and second step. So that works out well. Okay, so you need 2 points. Let's go ahead and maybe on the front make a note for ourselves that the hypothetical points for this are 0, 8, and 2, 6, just for example's sake. And you are going to want to label these. So this is the x1 value, and this is the y1 value. We'll need this in determining slope in just a second. So go ahead and label these with me. This is the x2 value and the y2 value. All right, in order to find slope, you can kind of go back to that idea of rise over run, and you could plot for yourself like a 0, 8 right here and 2, 6, just to kind of get the logical flow of whether this is going to be a positive or negative slope. And you can see that it's a downhill line, so it's going to be a negative slope, and that will help check your understanding. But mathematically speaking, it is kind of simplified if you do y1 minus y2 and you put that over x1 minus x2. And really now at this point, it's a matter of taking these values here that you see match up with those same numbers and plugging them in. So y1 is 8, y2 is 6, and you are putting that over x1, which is 0, and x2, hitting the erase button, sorry about that, y2, which is, nope, it's not letting me, there we go. So we have 8 minus 6 is 2, and that is over negative 2. So we have determined that the slope is negative 1. M equals negative 1. Not the tidiest, sorry about that. Now that we've determined the slope, that's perfect. We're going to be able to plug that in for that value m in our slope-intercept form. The second thing that we're going to do is go back to these points, whichever one we find to be friendlier. I think that if there's ever a 0 in the equation, I find that one to be friendlier. And we're going to use what we know. We know the slope already. We found that in our first step to be negative 1. And now what we're looking for is the y-intercept. Now we're looking for b. So in order to do that, we are going to take our x and y values and we are going to plug them in. And maybe I'll make a note to myself that we're using 0, 8. Okay, so we will put in the 8 for the y value. We keep our slope, we will put in the 0 for the x value, and from that we will determine b. And we'll continue to solve that, and add 1, we've got 9 is b. Those steps should help you every time to find an equation from 2 points.